Hello, welcome back to my channel, Utterly Mental. I hope you are having an incredible day so far. If you are new here,